In this episode of Flightline News, we'll learn about the many airline agreements the university has in place and how they benefit all of our flight students, and learn the proper procedures to follow when filling out a self-grounding form. And we'll meet the new Director of Aviation Safety, Bob Joyce. Flightline News starts right now. Welcome to Flightline News. I'm Bob Thomas. Winter break is already approaching and the flight department is offering significant discounts for those students that return early from the break. Students can take advantage of discounts and savings. Instructor, FTD, and aircraft dry rates will be reduced 50% during those days. To sign up for this early return discount, complete the form on the ETA links menu. Students who want to check into the residence hall prior to the first day of returning student check-in, which is January 7th, must complete a break housing application by December 6th. You can find that application at housing.erau.edu. Don't delay in signing up. Instructor availability is not guaranteed for any of the sign-ups after the November deadline. Early return flying is available for returning flight students only and is subject to resource availability. Rentals and refresher flights are excluded from the discount, and students who are staying for winter flying may use the same application for both flying periods, specifying a January return date on the form. The nightly fee is $30 until returning student check-in begins. Complete instructions are available on the sign-up form. Embry Riddle has many agreements with airlines to help students obtain jobs with airlines. Here's Dr. Mike Wiggins, the chair of the Aeronautical Science Department, with more about the great opportunities Embry Riddle provides its students via the airline agreements already in place.
Thanks, Bob. As you know, we're living in very interesting times when it comes to the airline industry and the number of pilots that they're looking to hire over the years. One of the results of this is the airlines have created a number of opportunities, whether they call them pathway programs, cadet programs, gateway programs, or in the case of Delta, the Propel program. They all create new opportunities for pilots graduating from college that have never existed in the past. Right now we have agreements with 12 airlines, 5 corporate flight departments, and 2 cargo airlines that all create new opportunities for students to go with. Basically, these opportunities follow the same path. You'll be looking to be selected somewhere around your sophomore, junior year, go through an interview process, go through some sort of a selection process, and then be put into a program to where you're going to probably be mentored by somebody from that airline or that company. Once you finish your flight instructor certificate, you'll probably move on, work for us for a time as a flight instructor until you attain the hours necessary for the restricted ATP. And then, at that point in time, move on to the airline, provided everything is good. One of the things I want to suggest that you start looking at right now, especially in your freshman and sophomore years, is to start building your resume now. Try to find out what they're looking for. Every time there's a company on campus, go talk to them. Take advantage of every career expo that we have. Go talk to them, find out what they're looking for. Because you may have the right number of hours, but they are looking for the entire person, and what you've got to convince them is that you are the complete employee that they're looking for that happens to know how to fly an airplane. Some of the attributes that they're looking for are your honesty, your focus towards customer service, your willingness to work with people, and those are all things that you're going to build up outside of the airplane, outside of flight training, and outside of the classroom. So get involved in clubs and organizations, learn how to effectively and properly work with people, and remember, you never know who's going to be your key to success. So treat everybody the same, everybody kindly, and for whatever reason, don't ever lie or try to fudge on any of the applications as you go forward, because that will be an instant showstopper.
There have never been more opportunities for our graduating flight students as there is now. So as Dr. Wiggins suggested, start making plans now for where you want to go in the future. Sometimes circumstances occur where students need to take a little break and time out from their flight training. Here is Specialized Training Manager Don McCann with some guidance for flight students that need to ground themselves.
There's a number of reasons why you might not be available to train on a given day. Perhaps you're on an athletic team that's got a mandatory practice or a game. Maybe you're in ROTC, you've got an event coming up, or you're in the reserves, you've got a drill weekend that conflicts. Perhaps you've got an assignment from one of your classes that requires that you do some sort of an extracurricular or perhaps off-campus activity that's outside of your normal class hours. Maybe you just need some extra time to work on a class project or a day to study, or maybe you've just got friends coming in from out of town or family and you want to take them to the beach for the day. All right, all of that is fine. We have a ground request that will cover any of those situations. All right, to submit any of these grounds, you're going to navigate to the ETA homepage, click on the links button, and there's going to be an option there for ground and hold requests. Go ahead and select that. Within that, you'll see several different options for types of grounds. Just make sure you're selecting the appropriate type of ground. All right, athletics, military, and admin grounds will all require some sort of documentation, whether it's documentation from a professor, from your military command, from your coach. Whatever the case is, make sure that you attach that documentation in order to excuse that absence. If you can't attach it for whatever reason, you can come see me in my office. I'm in Flight Ops 210 on the second floor. I'll be happy to put that in there for you manually. Self grounds do not require any sort of documentation, so regardless of what that reason is that you need to take that day off, just go ahead and let us know. Just let us know in the comments and submit that ground, no documentation required. Just remember that grounds are intended to prevent scheduling, not to take something off that's already on the schedule, so please make sure that you're getting that to us in time. The form will allow you to submit a ground request 2 days in advance. You can't do it same day, can't do it next day, but 2 days in advance you can submit that. Just be mindful of the fact that you have weekends and holidays, and there's days when I myself am not going to be in the office. So if you are needing off on a Monday, for example, don't be submitting that ground on a Friday evening. I won't see it until Monday. It's going to be too late. You're going to be on that schedule and responsible for that activity. Medical grounds, if for whatever reason you are not feeling fit to fly, be it for illness, fatigue, stress, whatever, you know the I'm safe checklist, police yourself. If you decide that you are not fit to fly for whatever reason, you can place a self ground. This one does not need to be done days in advance. This can be done same day. It just has to be, that decision needs to be made prior to the activity start time. All right, there's 3 steps involved in that one. First of all, notify your instructor. You don't want your instructor waiting on you at the dispatch or looking for you at an airplane or whatever. So notify your instructor first and foremost. That's a professional courtesy. Second of all, you're going to place that medical ground through that same links page that I mentioned earlier, and make sure that that gets submitted prior to activity start time. All right. As soon as you submit that, an email goes out to Health Services, it goes out to me, and the copy goes to yourself as well. All right. It's date stamped, and that tells us what time that ground begins. The third step you need to do is you need to visit Health Services office. If Health Services is open that day, we'd like for you to go in that day. If Health Services is closed, you need to visit Health Services the next day that they are open. Or if your medical condition prevents you from being able to be seen same day, go in the next day that they are open. If your condition is such that you know you're not going to be able to get in that day either, you need to get in touch with me. Let me know, let your training manager know, and we'll accommodate. If you have any questions on any of these grounding policies, feel free to swing by my office. Come visit myself, your training manager. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
No one likes all the hassles involved in getting a no-show excuse, so be sure to follow the steps Don outlined, and it can save you a lot of headaches down the road. Recently, Bob Joyce has accepted the position of Director of Aviation Safety. Although Bob is not new to this job, he's certainly not new to the flight department. Over the past 5 years, he's served as a quality assurance manager. Building on the great job he did in that role, Bob will now spearhead the effort to keep Embry Riddle the safest collegiate aviation training program in the nation. Congratulations, Bob, on your new role. How are you adjusting to the new position?
Firstly, I'd like to thank the selection team for their vote of confidence in me. The safety and well-being of everyone associated with our university is one of our core values, and the role and the responsibility of the Director of Aviation Safety is not something I take lightly. We're very fortunate here at Embry Riddle to be surrounded by expertise in all things aviation and aerospace, and it's very comforting to me to know that I can rely on my teammates when the situation arises.
What do you see as your biggest challenge in your new role?
One of the challenges of our safety team is to make sure we're executing all pertinent aspects of our safety management system, otherwise known as an SMS. I want to make sure people feel comfortable reporting any safety situation that has arisen or identify hazards that we can run through our risk assessments to mitigate any risk that might pose a threat to our flight crews. The slide I'm showing now illustrates many of the risk assessments your safety team conducted last year. I would also like to continue to conduct either initial or recurrent SMS training with everyone associated with our flight operation. We tend to have a lot of turnover with our flight department, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page as it pertains to our safety culture.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, just please feel free to stop by the safety office at any time. We're located in the Flight Operations Building, room 118. We'd love to hear any suggestions you may have in regards to helping us maintain and improve our safety culture. In fact, you might even hear us talking about hockey once in a while in that office, and we'd love to have you stop in and chat about that if you get a chance. So with that, I'd like to say thank you again. I look forward to working with each and every one of you.
The Flight Department is pleased to announce the completion of the first phase of the virtual reality Cessna 172 trainer. The VR trainer allows students to learn and fine-tune their pre-flight skills while interacting with a virtual Skyhawk. The current phase of the project consists of an instructor guiding participants through the procedure. Future phases will include modules for the students to practice the pre-flight unassisted while also including bugged items that make the aircraft unairworthy. In addition to the pre-flight aspect, the trainer also allows students to practice their flows on the remaining normal and emergency checklists. Stop by the Virtual Reality Lab in COA 135 and try it out for yourself. We welcome your feedback. Special VFR Productions has been gradually releasing 360-degree videos this semester, showcasing the instruction of our very own standards pilot, Vinan Udayan, as he demonstrates many of the flight maneuvers covered on check rides. The 360-degree videos allow the viewer to look around the cockpit in any direction through a VR headset, smartphone, or on a computer using the mouse to drag the view around. The current videos focus primarily on private pilot maneuvers and some fundamental instrument procedures. More videos will be coming out throughout the next few months, including commercial maneuvers, instrument approaches, and a few private pilot maneuvers. All these videos, other training videos, and past episodes of Flightline News can be found on the same YouTube channel, ERAU Special VFR. That's it for this edition of Flightline News. I'm Bob Thomas. Thanks for watching.